We'll get started now. I'm happy you guys are all glad to be here. Let me just switch. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Tools for Success webinar. I'm happy that you all can join me today. My name is Manal White, and I'm your Senior Student Services Coordinator. I will be providing you with information to help you be successful in your studies here at Johns Hopkins University Advanced Academic Programs, or AAP. This will be our agenda for today. You may send your questions via chat and I will answer them at designated points throughout the webinar. If we have time at the end, I can present some of the tools that I have talked about throughout the webinar. Here at AAP, we understand the struggles of juggling work and course loads, with most of our students being working professionals. This presentation is focused on supporting our diverse population and teaching you strategies you can use to be successful in your courses and in your professional life. I apologize, it did not upload very well, but I will begin with a brief overview of what student resources are available to you and how to utilize these resources to be successful in your courses. Here at AAP, we are dedicated to ensuring that our students' academic needs are met. Advisors are subject matter experts in your program and will guide you throughout your time at AAP. Advisors connect their students with campus resources and help students navigate curriculum, program, and concentration requirements. They help students with selecting and registering for courses as well as petitioning for course substitutions and overloads. They can help give you the best advice for what classes to take to meet your goals and are knowledgeable about career opportunities in your field. To be able to establish the advisor-advisee relationship effectively, students should regularly check their JHU email, respond from their university email, become knowledgeable about university policies and procedures, meet deadlines, and ask questions if expectations are unclear. Always be in constant communication with your advisor, because you will want them to be able to provide you with recommendation letters to advance your career in the future. I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear my dog whining in the background. Sorry about that. Hold on. Okay. Many times, students who need accommodation, like extra time on exams or occasional extensions, are afraid to disclose their disability for fear of a stigma. Students with cognitive, chronic health, psychiatric, physical, hearing, or vision conditions should contact Disability Support Services so that they can protect their rights to legal, permanent accommodations to help provide the opportunity for success in their classes. Flare-ups of conditions like Crohn's disease, ADHD, or anxiety can affect a student's progress in their classes. Registering for accommodations allows these students to have extensions or additional time on their exams when exacerbation of symptoms appear or occur. Disability Support Services also provides digital note takers, highlighters, and text-to-speech softwares to help students with their studies. When students disclose their conditions to the Disability Support Office, the coordinator, or in this case me, will ensure that conditions and documentation remains confidential. Instructors will receive a letter stating accommodations that the university has approved for the entirety of the student's educational career at Johns Hopkins. Accommodations do not carry over and must be requested at the start of each term. Instructors will not give students accommodations without a letter sent from the Disability Support Office, as it would be at a disadvantage of to the student if accommodations they receive from one instructor is not honored by the other. Please contact the Disability Support Coordinator if you have a health condition and need consistent accommodations for your courses. Accommodations is your legal right, so protect it and get registered as soon as possible. The Sheridan Library is accessible from all 3 campuses and online. The library possesses over 3.8 million books, a million ebooks, newspapers, and hundreds of databases. The circulation desk can mail students books if needed. If you need to use the databases on the Sheridan page while off campus, you can connect to JH Pulse using the link to establish a connection to the library. If you need assistance finding relevant resources for assignments, you can email or call the librarians. The library also holds sync sessions to help students get a leg up on their coursework and to become a better researcher. You can click on sync sessions to register for the upcoming library online workshops, or click on past recordings to learn more about researching techniques. We'll also go over some research techniques in this webinar. Some of you have stated that you are trying to get into the groove of being an online student. There is support for you in case you have issues with Blackboard or MyJHU portal. We are committed to provide academic and technical support to ensure an engaging and successful online learning experience. We have a 24-hour helpline available via chat or telephone for any Blackboard issues you run into. We strongly encourage you to bookmark this support page. You can also submit the issue through the IT portal support form. If you do not already know, we provide free software like Microsoft Office. In My JHU portal, you can look up free software available to you. Hover over the Technology tab, click on My Software, and go to the catalog link. Oh, I'm sorry. Go back. There we go. The Johns Hopkins Student Assistance Program, or JSAP, is a life management resource that can help you identify and manage challenging issues in healthy ways. JSAP services are free and confidential, and there is no limit to the number of times you may access services during your academic career. Your spouse, partner, or child may also access JSAP services. JSAP services include short-term counseling, crisis response, healthy relationship support, school life coaching and adjustment, educational workshops. JSAP is available 24/7, and you can request a phone appointment or an in-person appointment if you live in Baltimore or DC. AAP Career Services offers one-on-one career coaching, workshops, and webinars, opportunities to network with employers, and more to help students reach their professional goals. Handshake is an online platform which helps students find meaningful careers and matches students to recruitment opportunities, which serves our students all over the world. Students who are interested in professional development should sign up for the webinars and workshops, most of which are live streamed, and networking opportunities on Handshake. Create your profile and fill it out completely to attract potential employers. This list of student services contact information will connect you to people who can help you with questions about registration, course planning, career development, financial aid, disability services, and more. We are here to support our students and are always happy to hear from you. If you aren't sure who to ask, you can also contact the Student Services team at AAP Student Services at jhu.edu. We are located at the Washington, D.C. campus in Suite 104. Student Services is constantly evolving to serve you better and to make you feel at home in our Johns Hopkins community. The surveys we have sent out in this webinar have been in efforts to see how we can best serve you and how to progress. To stay up to date on student services happenings, Be sure to check out the monthly newsletter. In February, we are putting on events on each of our campuses, including online, to give students a chance to tell us about their experience and how we can add to it. The events across the three physical campuses and the online campus will allow students to chat with each other and ask student service representatives questions in real time and address what students want to see on all the campuses. Before we continue, you can ask me any questions about our resources and I'll answer them. Yes, I am the disability coordinator and I am the senior student services coordinator. Do we have any other questions? My pleasure. I'll type it out. My pleasure. Any other questions? Okay, I'll continue. Oh, wait. Both online courses and on-campus courses will have blackboards. Your on-campus instructors are encouraged to build their course on Blackboard. Not all do, but most do. If you're an on-campus student, Blackboard can be used for your readings, discussion boards, and sometimes your instructor will give you the course material that he just or she just presented in class so that you have it to study with. Okay, if there are no other questions, I will continue. The most important resource you will receive in each of your classes is your syllabus. I recommend saving it to your desktop every semester so that it is easily accessible if you have a question regarding assignments, schedules, or how to contact your instructors. Your class syllabus is a written contract between you and your instructor. It gives you an overview of the class and its breakdown. You can refer to it in regards to policies, resources, and your instructor's expectations. This will allow you to be successful in the class. When you have questions about where you stand in the class or how much a certain assignment will impact your grade, you can always refer to your syllabus to calculate possibilities. Of course, life happens and assignments may be added or reduced, usually reduced, depending on the pace of the class. However, your syllabus will always be the best reference for your class. Does anyone have any questions about the syllabus before we continue? If you're using Outlook, you can go to directory to find out email addresses for instructors, but self-service or student self-service, that should help you. That they will always have the instructor's email on your class schedule, and your Blackboard should have your email address, the professor's email address, and so should the syllabus. If your instructor is providing it, then yes, you can assume that it's still valid. Oh, if it's on the main site, they update the main site of your program constantly. So if the syllabus is still there, it must still be active. Are you enrolled in any classes right now? I would refer to any syllabus that's on your Blackboard or that your instructor either emails to you or gives to you in class. Email me and I'll look into that for you. Okay. I will now move on to communication tips that will help you be successful in your educational and professional careers. The ability to communicate effectively is an essential skill in today's world. Communication is a dynamic process, and how you communicate can positively and negatively affect relationships you have in your work and your life. Firstly, and most importantly, you will need to learn how to advocate for yourself as a student. Knowing what resources are available to you and knowing what is to be expected from faculty and staff is supporting you is the first step. Remember that your professor is a great resource to turn to when you are not understanding class content. Do not be afraid to ask for clarity. Their role is to teach you the class material. They say that knowledge is power, and in this case, it will help you succeed in your classes and in your professional lives. Students who do not learn self-advocacy skills are more likely to settle and glide through their studies. This does not help students achieve goals. If you learn how to problem solve and communicate effectively, you will be able to seek and utilize resources that will help you reach higher success rates in your education and in your career. To do this, expand your resource network and work on challenging yourself to achieve higher goals. Carrie, did you raise your hand? Okay, I'll continue. Many students are wary of online courses because they are afraid that they will lose the contact they need with instructors to fully learn. Communicating in online classes is different than it is in a classroom setting, but it is not less important. In fact, good communication in an online class is going to be one of the key factors for success. Keep in mind that if you are not communicating, and this includes participating in Blackboard discussion board threads, your instructor has no way of knowing whether you are engaged with the material. Make sure you actively participate regularly. If something comes up causing you to post an assignment or discussion thread late, email your instructor as soon as possible. Instructors will typically include information on the best way to contact them in their syllabus. This is crucial. Some of the most common ways to communicate with your instructors are through email and discussion boards, although some will choose to host webinars and communicate via telephone. Make sure to follow these steps when composing an email or discussion board post. If all your written correspondence is concise, appropriate, explained clearly and logically while maintaining good grammar, you will receive better results. I have said this several times and will repeat myself one more. Check your Johns Hopkins University email daily to maintain good communication patterns. In an online class, your written communication is the primary way you present yourself. Make sure that you come off clear and respectful. There are some important things to keep in mind. Please avoid being informal or composing a letter as you would compose a text message. Before we move on to time management, does anyone have any questions? Do you mean the slideshow? I am recording it and I will post it to YouTube. I can send you the link. And if you want the actual PowerPoint, I'm happy to send it to you. Yes, I can. I'll just send it all to you after the webinar ends, since I have a participant list. Sure, I have that link too. Also, all the resources that had the most links, they're in the online orientation. So any other questions before I move on to time management? I'll get you the link. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm going to move on now. So we all know that life is ongoing and does not stop for assignments. One of the major struggles of being a graduate student is learning how to manage your time. Between family, work, and school, students have to figure out how to prioritize and juggle their many responsibilities. It usually takes a couple weeks to get the hang of a schedule and figuring out what works best for you. I will discuss how to figure out how to prioritize and give tips and tools to best manage your time. Always remember that you have to make time for yourself as well. Take at least an hour a day to decompress and relax. Here are some tips to best manage your time. You should start studying at least 2 days before an exam to really absorb all the information you've learned over the semester. If you use flashcards to study, I recommend using the first day to make the flashcards and the second day to make sure all the flashcards are memorized. Make sure you also break down writing your papers over a period of 2 to 3 days so that you are not rushing to complete them and you are taking your time. If you finish your paper early, you can even send it to 3 people, including your instructor, to look over your work and help you make edits. Take 10 minutes between studying or writing every hour so that you do not lose focus. Limit your time on social media and video streaming. Again, take care of yourself. Designate an hour a day for yourself. Maybe take off Friday nights for social time. Exercise. These tips will help you stay focused and absorb information. I know these tips are easier said than done. Working full-time does not allow for much downtime. Weekends are the main designated days for work to get accomplished. However, some students have children who they dedicate their weekends to. What about family time? The answer is all about learning how to schedule your time to allow for a 3-hour trip to take the kids to an amusement park or to the beach. It's about taking advantage of every moment you have some free time to edit that pesky Blackboard response due by Sunday. Some of you have indicated that you have to travel a lot for work. Take advantage of the traveling portion of your work trip and get your books on audio. Or use your computer or pens, because there are a lot of smart pens out there, that will read your books to you while you're traveling. If you're flying by plane, take advantage of that travel time by finishing your responses. Always let your instructors know what is going on regarding your work schedule or when things come up. Many of your professors only teach part-time as well, so they'll understand. If you're working full-time and taking classes, please limit how many classes you are taking. You do not want to put too much on your plate. I was in the same boat as you all when I was in graduate school. I did an accelerated program and I worked full-time. I had to ask for an incomplete to finish writing my thesis because I could not keep up with 12 credits a semester, writing a thesis and work. What worked best for me was designating weekends for reading/note-taking. I read ebooks and had Word split screen on my computer so that I can take notes more efficiently, while sometimes copying and pasting quotes. I would start drafts of my papers using my notes, and I would designate weeknights for writing or revising my papers. I was fortunate to have coworkers in my suite who were English majors or part-time instructors who would look over my papers and help me edit them. If I was done early enough, my instructors would look over my papers as well. Any downtime or lunch break I had at work was designated to writing and reviewing. I still had time, a little bit of time, for a social life because I set aside time to have a getaway weekend or work from the hotel or the beach. I set aside time for going to amusement parks. I played audiobooks while working out. My life was very regimented, but it was helpful and it kept me focused. Stephen Covey, the author of 7 Habits of the Highly Effective Person, developed a time management matrix to help with prioritizing activities. You may find this useful to help you plan your online coursework. For an example of how to use this, use chat and give me 2 examples of something you have to do this week. Then write a dash and tell me where you think it fits into this chart. I'll start. I need to send out a survey about this webinar, and I have to answer emails regarding an event in 2 weeks. So the survey is urgent and important, so it's in quadrant 1 because I want you guys to be able to answer the survey as while the memory of this webinar is still fresh in your mind. The answering emails about an event is 2 weeks. Is kind of urgent, but kind of not in, I would say more quadrant 2 because it's about planning. All right, let's see your examples. These are all great examples, and I think you have put them in the right categories. I will send you this as well. So just the chart, not separate from the PowerPoint, so that you guys can have it and be able to use it to figure out what you need to do immediately, which you already do, but it's great to have a visual. Well, you can hear my dogs barking at the door, so I would say it's more quadrant 2 because it's not urgent, but I think walking your dog is important. Okay, it is so easy to get wrapped up in life and lose track of deadlines or appointments. That is why syncing up using a calendar that will alert your devices that you utilize every day can be helpful. If you have an iPhone or Android phone, put all your deadlines for all your assignments and test dates in your iOS or Google Calendar at the beginning of the semester. Color code it to match your class and set reminders at least 2 days in advance to begin with. You can have multiple reminders for one event. Then break up your day before a major assignment or an exam into scheduled study sessions for yourself. This will help you manage your time and it will sync across all your devices, such as your computer, a smart watch if you have one, and your phone. If you're not that tech savvy, the daily planner or printing out a desk calendar listing the same information will work just as well. Applications like Google Keep and OneNote will also be useful in setting up to-do lists for each class and it will sync across all your devices. I also recommend OneNote as a virtual binder for note-taking for all your classes each semester. Even for meetings at work, that's how I use my OneNote. It's a binder for all my meetings at work. Creating a distraction-free environment is key to being able to focus and study effectively. It's important to find a place that works for you. Think about where you can focus best. Some people prefer a completely silent atmosphere so they would study well in the library. Others need some ambient noise, so a coffee shop may work better for them. Wherever you study best, I encourage you to try to carve out a specific time each week to go to that place and have your class time. Make an effort to unplug and reduce temptation. It may seem small, but try not to have your phone right by you while you're studying. If you have designated time to study, pretend you are in class and shut your phone off. There are ways to manage distractions on your computer. These are some apps that you can use. Are there any questions before I move on to research writing tips and tools? Those are the apps you can use, sorry. There's also some Chrome extensions. I think Cold Turkey is a Chrome extension, but there's a Chrome extension that will limit what you can be on during your designated study time. My homework is really good for scheduling when your assignments are due. And there's also some other links that I will share with you. Any other questions before I move on to research writing tips? Okay. Some students have asked about research citation tools. I will show you how Microsoft Word will generate your citations and bibliography in the best format for you at the end of this presentation. I will also show you some other free tools that will help you with writing your paper. However, please attend a RefWorks seminar with the library if you want a better tool than just Microsoft. The traditional index card solution for paper organization requires students to write a quote from the book on the line side and basically the theme of the quote on the blank side of the index card. Students would also write a number on the top of the index card on both sides that would match to a source card. The source card would have the information of the source, like the author, title, year, etc. This research method is meant so that when you are done with your research, you would be able to group all the index cards by theme, which would end up being the theme of each paragraph of your paper. Some students use Microsoft Word to do this more efficiently, making themes as headers for each page, and then copying and pasting quotes into them. Technology has continued to make this type of paper organization easier. There are now databases that will help you organize your quotes and sources so much better. Zotero and EndNote are also offered by the library and will better help you organize your notes. The library has workshops on EndNote recorded on their site. I have provided the link to you, but if you would like to know more, I can send it again. Microsoft Access is a database in your Microsoft suite that some historians have reported to use to organize their articles and books. Mac has an app called FileMaker, but it is not free. Many students use mind mapping tools to organize their paper, like the image seen above. Lucidchart and Coggle are two free mind mapping tools you can use. You can also use Google Drive to create files and run a spreadsheet of all your sources so that it is accessible anywhere and can be shared to collaborate with your peers. Due to vast capabilities of modern-day technology, research methods have evolved tremendously. Now there are websites, databases, and softwares that will help you create your bibliography and citations. It creates your footnotes and your works cited page for you. It is under the Reference tab on the top banner of your Microsoft Word application. First thing you would have to click is Manage Sources, and Microsoft will have you filling out forms for each source that you are using in your paper. You can find Easy Bib and RefWorks on the library's website that I have provided a link to at the bottom of the screen. Grammarly is a great free tool that will assist you with checking for grammar. You can download it for Chrome and use it as an app. If you are taking classes on the Homewood campus or are willing to drive there, you can also use their Writing Center. I just received information yesterday that we will be also getting an online tutoring platform in the future. I don't know how long it's going to take for that to be implemented, but just keep a lookout. You should be hearing about the online tutoring platform in a couple months. So my last category to discuss, or topic to discuss, is study strategies. I know that some graduate programs do not involve tests, but for those that do, here are some proven successful study habits. Since most people do not have photographic memory, everyone must find their own strategy to memorizing information. Writing the same information over again helps with memory retention. It is a scientific fact that redrawing graphs and rewriting your notes will help with muscle memory so that you can retain information better. Most people need to break up the information to memorize efficiently. I myself have ADHD, so when I was a student, flashcards worked best for me. I used to write all the bolded terms from the chapters for an exam on one side of the flashcard. On the other, I would write why the term was important or relevant to the chapter. If there was a formula or diagram associated with it, I would talk about when it was appropriate to use it. I took a day to make all the flashcards and 2 days to memorize them by quizzing myself. If I didn't get the card right, I would put it on the bottom of the stack. If I knew all the information on the back of the card without any hesitation, I would take the card out of the stack. I would continue quizzing myself until I had it all memorized to the point of no hesitation. Doing this for 2 days made me confident when tests came around. My students and peers copied my habits and had the same results. If you want, you could also use flashcard applications that make it even easier. But again, rewriting the material with paper and pen is better for memorizing than just copying and pasting into an app. Studying does not have to be a solitary event. It is actually better when you study with other people with different perspectives and strengths. A peer may be able to explain a topic that has been confusing to you. Whether you are in an online course or an in-person course, there are ways to have successful group study sessions. Skype, Google Hangouts, or Adobe Connect study sessions with your peers would allow you to share ideas and study together virtually. Google Docs will allow your group to create a good study guide with classmate input. Also, do not forget the usual ways of preparing for an exam. Take breaks, don't skip meals, and have a good night's sleep the night before an exam. Okay, so this is the end of the presentation. Are there any tools or strategies that you want me to show you? So we have read and write gold, and it is free through my JHU. Let me go ahead and get it. Actually, since the presentation is over, I can show you how to get free software through your IT. Hold on. So you could go to My Software. You would go to the ServiceNow software catalog. They'll sign you in usually. And then you would read and write, which will be the first thing that comes up. And just request it. You would go all the way down and answer these questions and request it, and they'll email you when it's ready for you to download. Depending, if you're going to cite using a Blackboard discussion, just use the citation method that you would usually use for the program. What program are you in? So that's usually APA. My pleasure. Any other question? Do you guys want me to show you how to do source citations on Microsoft Word? Okay. It does have a seminar on what ref works. I will send you that link in a second. It's online. Okay, so bear with me. My husband has not updated our Microsoft Suite on this computer, but it's very similar. So you would just go to Review. I lied. You go to References. You go to Manage Sources up here. You go ahead and put in the source that you need. So you would fill out these forms, and then you press OK. Let's say that, and it usually will go into your current list. Actually, you know what? I'll make up a book title. Say, this is actually my thesis that I wrote. Say College of. Okay, so go to the current list. You press close. I guess that's MLA format, or no, APA format. So since I majored in history, I would do Chicago, and I would either put in my bibliography, or you can put in your works cited. If you're just quoting or quoting it in your paper, so like an citation in your paper, have a great night. Any other questions? Oh, I will give you the RefWorks. I'll just email it to you because it's not letting me get it right now. Okay. You know what? Let's go to Hold on. Okay. It's under library resources, so it's right here. No, it's not. All right, I'll get it and send it to you through email. Send it to all of you through email. My pleasure. Any other questions? Any other applications you want me to test out for you or show you? It is. I am actually not familiar with EndNote. I will be honest. I'm pretty rudimentary. I know my Microsoft Word and that's about it. But the library did have a session on EndNote and RefWorks and Google Scholar. So I will send you all those webinars. I will. It's funny because the one who was squeaking is my big boy German Shepherd. He was trying to get the ball from his sister. That's why he was whining. I'm. I thought this headset that I'm using was a lot better at canceling out background noise. Now I know it's not. Sorry. Anytime. You all can also email me. You have my email now if you have any other questions regarding anything I just showed you, student services, or even disability support services. My pleasure. Y'all do as well.